Alrighty then. Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to my channel, The Burgos Art. And welcome to another art stream. It is not Sunday, it is actually Monday. Sunday was a busy personal family day, so I didn't stream yesterday, but then again, also have not been streaming a lot lately. But it's been an odd day for me, and I figured I want to do some artwork and just be a bit more productive. So hello everyone. The audio seems to be okay. Double checking. Now, I've noticed the music that we have in Streamlabs, right? OBS Streamlabs, what we want to call it, slobs. It has all this music you can use for your streams, but they're still flagged as copyright music on YouTube. Nothing detrimental to the channel, but it's just copyright, which I'm sure restricts it in various spaces. So today I'm not using that. I'm using this old standard, you probably heard it 100 times. It's called Lo-Fi Chill Beats. It is a channel on YouTube. It's one of the channels I used originally because even though it's kind of, just ambient, somewhat boring music, it is at least not. It has never gotten a I have never gotten a copyright strike from it. So we're gonna be using that today. So what's been going on? Aside from really bad shoulder pain, I have just been busy getting ready for conventions. List of conventions will scroll in just a bit in the chat window here. The next convention coming up is Long Island Tabletop Gaming. That's roughly 2 weeks from now. It's in Long Island, obviously. It's about tabletop games, obviously. So all type of tabletop games. Old, new, people coming in with their prototypes. Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, is it called Gutterlands or Gaslands? Gaslands. So like whatever tabletop you could think of. In fact, there it is, tabletop. Tabletop gaming. There's a little scroll for that right there. So I've been trying to get as many things as I can in production for that. That includes struggling with my 3D printer, doing lots and lots of little molding, like castings and moldings for miniature figurines and all that. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see a series of reels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've also eventually put them on, I believe, Twitter and on YouTube, I believe. So check them out on YouTube as well. And it's just this journey I went on to make a new mold for a product I created. And it was quite the journey. It was quite the journey. But yeah, I just been doing that, and then because of that, I've been kind of like crashing on weekends and just haven't been streaming that much. So today, what are we doing today? Today we're gonna be doing some concept designs. As always, I'm working on various projects. In this case, I'm working on some short film concepts. Well, rather, to be more precise. There's a short film that I am working. So it's me, the creator and director, and my good friend Joe, and we are all working on props for this film, makeup, weapons, costumes, you name it. So I've been doing a lot of that lately. Excuse me while I'm looking through a file right now. So while I've been doing that, I've also been given the task of prepping for another, not short film, but a series that's all going to be kind of gag related. Every episode hopefully will showcase something interesting in our repertoire of special effects. So I'm going to do some design work, preemptive design work, if that makes sense. So you know what I'm going to do real quick? Let's find a basic headshot images. Headshot. Front and back. and we're gonna start designing some kind of helmets. I'm looking for a 2-page headshot, like front and back, or front and side, I guess. So this thing I could use. Copy and paste, copy and paste. Here we go, here's one. It literally is a stock man side view headstock vector images from Alamy. Alamy? I don't know. I'm probably saying it weird. Alamy. Copy image. Blip. Paste image. There we go. Something like that. Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to resize this real quick. Yeah, maybe just some resizing real quick. Do. Nope. Try that again. Oh, Dante, you're using stock from online. Yeah, but you can see where the stock comes from. It's just... I'm using it just for silhouette reference. I'm not trying to steal a stock or something like that. What am I? Some kind of AI, bro? Fudge that, man. Fudge that to hell. Oh. So in the art news world, in the art world, so DeviantArt, in my opinion, I still post stuff on DeviantArt, you know, whenever I can. I still love looking at various artists on DeviantArt. But as I have mentioned in the past, it's kind of going downhill. It is straight up just going downhill. Because it's fully embraced the AI. It has fully embraced the AI craze, and it is just very, very sad. No, that's the wrong one. Deselect, please. There we go. It has fully embraced AI. DeviantArt has like just said screw it. In fact, they even advertise now, like on the top banner, like, oh, like you utilize our AI programming. And like it's just junk account after junk account after junk account. There's one account I've noticed that uses AI, but doesn't sell anything. It is, I mind you, just still post after post after post after post after post, and it's all kind of the same. It's kind of like conservative, where it's like it shows like a really cool like punker chick, and then it shows her as like a proper girl, and it's like that's like the entire freaking account. You know. Girl with like a mohawk and doing this, and then like her as a businesswoman, and that's the entire freaking account. But they're not selling it, so I'll give them that much. But yeah, so they had the gall to post like the most successful artists in their market space on Twitter. They posted how like this artist sold this much on through DeviantArt. You too can make money, and everyone's like, dude, it's an AI account. It's all just it's a giant AI account where the guy sells everything for like $5. And everyone was just ragging on DeviantArt. Like, dude, you're highlighting the sales of an AI account. Come on. I mean, it's even funnier. It's just, give me a second. I'm going to line up this, nope, that's the wrong tool. I just want to line up this. Like that's his ear right there. Anyway, and so just like what made it even funnier is the fact that dude, like just today I saw a post on Instagram, where this person, I think it was a woman, was at a convention that is, and she videotaped. They were like straight up. They basically caught someone in the artist alley section. I'm assuming the artist alley. The fact is, they caught a vendor, and it was all AI artwork posted on stuff, like posted on bottles, on t-shirts, and they kicked him out. But he was like one of like 10 people. So when she pans the camera, there's just empty booths, like just convention tables that could have been used for like people who like actually put effort into their drawings, just all empty all around her. And they were happy the convention did that, like got rid of these guys, because they were just like, you know, they're parasites. But it was just a shame that, like, you really think about, man, this all could have gone to like other artists, you know. Okay. So in case you're wondering, right there, ALAMY. Almy? Alamai? I don't know. That's the stock. I just copy and paste it. That's where the stock is from. If I visit the website, yeah, it uses cookies, yada yada. I don't see price labeling. Oh, I do. Give me a second. Oh, it's a license to use. So the licensing is like $19 to use, like, I guess, in business. I'm not using it in business. In fact, I'm going to like erase it when I'm done. I just want a general silhouette. And we're gonna lock that down. And we're gonna start drawing some helmet ideas. Let's do some helmets. Right? So one helmet idea I had. Yeah, so the idea for this project is this guy wears a helmet that actually mentally links him to the ship he is piloting. Yeah. So I'm going to think of just a few different concepts. Let's use that one. One idea I have is kind of like damn it, it's gripping onto the freaking... Don't snap to the guide. There we go. So, kind of like that Buzz Lightyear space cap kind of thing going on. We're gonna go with the Buzz Lightyear kind of space cap, right? Maybe with big rounded, like a cloth, almost like a cloth material, if that makes sense. But so it's like a leather cap, like an old astronaut leather cap kind of thing. The cosmonaut look, if that makes sense. But it's gonna have like all these little like tubes and stuff coming out of it. Maybe some coils like this. Yeah, let's just do it in black. That way I can see it better. That way you can see it better. Yeah, so we'll go with one that has like a little goofy looking. Purposely, like, it's supposed to be futuristic, but it not so much. It doesn't really reach that point of like good futuristic. It's like awkward retro futuristic, if that makes sense. But yeah, that kind of like cosmonaut who wears once again, the old like leather style like hat. Erase and pen, thank you. Get that side shot in there as well. Also got my pen working. Some of you may remember last time it was causing. I had lost. I had pressed. Oh, yeah. I went over here, and it wasn't brush size. It was like one of these buttons I had pressed and dropped it to like 0 when it should have been. No, I moved it to 80 when it should have been like 0 or like a 1, and it basically took away all pen sensitivity. Like I tried adjusting all the pen sensitivity across the board, and just so many things were like just not really, working. That's good. Like I was adjusting the pen sensitivity. Ooh. Nope, not that one. Scratch that. Delete. There we go. I was adjusting the pen sensitivity on the tablet, on the computer, and it was all, I was readjusting it in the program itself, and it was really just like some button I pressed, some like, was it this? Yeah. I don't know, can you guys even see that on the stream? No, you can't. You can't. But there's a button in the pen sensitivity, and there's a drop down next to brush size, and it was minimum value. There was minimum value, and it was like at 80. So yeah, I don't know, really weird. Maybe there's like a box on the back of his head. Do not snap to the grid, please. Thank you. Let me try something. No. I need to I want to adjust the pen settings so I can make the second button the eraser. Just reduce the amount of time I have to press buttons on the freaking computer, Key commands. So in the Geekdom and Art world, I combine this together in the Geekdom Art world. The new X-Men series just dropped. I've been seeing lots of people do like little essays on it and discussing what they like, what they don't like, and just from the clips I've seen, because I don't got Disney Plus, I have to get it eventually, but just from the clips I've seen, the writing is just the right amount of cheesiness, like Shakespearean cheesiness, if that makes sense. But it also hits perfectly for what should be the tone of the series. And what I mean is this. I might even do a video on this. This is my stance on the X-Men series as a whole. Like Marvel and everything, right? Mutancy, or rather the X-Mutants in X-Men, X-Mutants in Marvel, is not a good one-to-one. It's not a good one-to-one metaphor for minorities, second-class citizens, whatever you want to call it. It's not a good one-to-one. Simply because, and this is something I want to quote, because I don't think people say it. People don't really say this. In the Marvel universe, mutants are not dangerous. Mutants are not inherently dangerous. Mutation is. It is a force of nature. And just like nature, it could be violent. It could be unpredictable. You become a mutant, and then all of a sudden, you don't become a mutant. Your mutant power emerges because you're already a mutant to begin with. It emerges, and you end up blowing up a building by accident. And that's not your fault. It is just the nature of the aggression of the power itself, right? So mutants are not dangerous. Mutancy is, right? Which is why it's not the best metaphor for people of color or immigration or immigrants, because when one of these individuals turns 13 or 15, like a late bloomer, like a quinceañera, they don't just suddenly blow up the building, right? So the fear of mutants makes sense in context. However, and this is the important part, I believe, it is not the fact that they are feared because of their power that makes the stories interesting. That's what makes the stories cool. That is what makes the stories cool for action sequences. What is interesting is the reaction, because the hateful speech that many individuals in these comics put towards mutants is so dead on to actual hate speech for actual people, which should say something, because that means people in real life say things so atrocious to people who are simply different races, religion, or color that villains say to people with superpowers in fiction. Essentially, bigots are cartoonish villains. Simple as that. So the writing is really good for the series in mimicking that level of blind, stupid hatred. It is so freaking good at doing that I've seen people on Twitter and Instagram take a quote from the show and be like, this is what people have told me to my face. People have called me this. People have blamed me for this. People claim that I'm the reason this has happened. And that, I think, is the real importance of the commentary of the series. That it highlights how ridiculous bigots and racists and how cowardly they are in real life. It is, in my opinion, a really well-written series because it touches those exact things. And I put a post on my Twitter account. There's one clip that's circulating on Twitter a lot. Excuse me, I got a message. And it's the clip where the Executioner, this one villain, is ranting and raving as he fights and essentially beats Cyclops. I won't go to the whole quote. The whole rant. But it is a rant that people have said, oh yeah, I've had people say this to me. I've had people say this exact thing verbatim to me. You have this cartoonish villain who's somehow realistic in just how cartoonishly evil he is. But more importantly, people have been uploading that video to highlight this is evil. This is what people say to people who, this is how people punch down. And of course, because the world is filled with some dumb people in the world. You have people who are like, oh, but actually he has a point. And it's not even the point I made regarding mutancy being a power, because that's not mutancy being dangerous. That's not the point he's even making. The point he's trying to make, this villain, is, I hate it when you guys complain so much. We have it hard too. As he physically beats a man, he says this. And so I uploaded the clip to my account on Twitter, and I said, this right here should act as a voice. It's called the litmus test. I said this should act as a litmus test. You put this on your you put this on your timeline, and the moment someone goes, well, actually, he kind of has a point, you block that person. Do not get into a conversation with them, because it's you have easily weeded out the people who feel that, you easily weed out the bigots and the people who make excuses for those who commit acts of violence. You put that post up online, and the moment someone goes, well, he's kind of right, you go, no. You have discovered the a problem. And yeah, it is such an easy thing to do. It's right up there with that you've seen that there's a meme also on Twitter where it's like, how to find a Nazi. Simply post, I hate Nazis. And the moment someone says, well, just because you disagree with people doesn't make him a Nazi, you have discovered a Nazi. Because it's like, I never said who I disagreed with. I just said I don't like Nazis without any description as to beyond that. And you instantly came to the defense of those people. It's like, not that yeah. It's a great way of saying, of just finding, of just like, you have discovered the problem, pretty much. It's a really good series. Someone just popped up in my replies. Pizza. Thank you for the invite, dude. Yeah, I just, like, my cable just went up. Like, it shot up like $40. It just went $40. At first, I thought it was a late fee based on how I paid it the month before. Realized, no, $40 went right up. But to, like, as I've complained 100 times before, just to like pay for the internet, let's keep these kind of, you know what, give it some space. But like, just to pay for the internet, right? And then if I only wanted internet, and then only wanted Disney Plus, and only wanted, like, if I only wanted a few things, in the end, you're still paying so much for all the different streaming services. Because everyone's so greedy, they're all, like, cutting up stuff. I say that, but I am aware of the fact that Disney is also, like, consuming everything. So, maybe soon everything will be on one singular streaming service, and then we'll see what happens. I should be enough space. Merge layer. We labeled this heads. That way I don't mix it up. I labeled it heeds for some reason. Heads. Alright, so this one's kind of like soft fabric with nodes sticking out of it. This is more like a prototype looking one, right? As opposed to like an actual helmet. Actual space helmet. Speaking of which, let's do a more space helmet looking one. Something a bit more, I say space, but let's do a more sleek helmet. Maybe kind of, well, speaking of X-Men, maybe more like a Magneto-esque kind of warrior helmet. Let's see how that works. So like, maybe something like this, right? A little lower on the forehead. Transformers? That's kind of the look he has going on here. Good to see you, by the way. How's it going, man? How you been? Yeah, as I said, as I said earlier, I have just been busy with freaking projects. I say busy, more like I've been pushing to finish the projects. They haven't like. This isn't like an issue of them like sneaking up on me. It's just a matter of like I need to get this done. I need to get this. I need to get these pictures printed. I need to get this. Get my 3D printer going, or else I won't be able to finish certain things. Like I just been dealing with that kind of stuff. And as I mentioned also earlier, just this weekend was family issues as well. Nothing horrible. Everyone's okay. It just kind of took up space in the time slots. Okay, so we have a basic kind of like Roman warrior helmet, right? So you have something like that. But the idea is that he's controlling a ship with it. His mind is attached to a ship. So we could kind of go. Hey, speaking of my buddy Flora, Jerry in the chat, maybe make it a bit more sleek and go for Mega Man. Because he's a fighting robot. Maybe put some LED lights in there. Have it like woo woo. Have it glow. There you go, a bit sleeker. What else? I'm just throwing random stuff right now at it. So we could have kind of like vents on the side. God, what a character! I think it was the Lambo twins from Transformers. Sunstreak. Was it Sunstreaker? I forget the names. It was a yellow and red one, but they were Lamborghinis, and they had like horns, but the horns had patterns. I mean, I think them and like the original Starscream toy kind of had it with their horns, but they have like these kind of grills come off the side. So maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of mixing two things together. I know it's kind of weird. The grills are more mechanical, but the thing on top is more lights. So I don't know. Maybe some like cool pattern stuff like this, like computer chip pattern. Yeah, there we go. So we have like these random like computer chip patterns all over it. Think like kind of like Cerebro. You know, once again, X-Men-esque. Cerebro, but Cerebro's slick, or all the wires coming off of it. But the idea is it still connects them to the ship. That's kind of the idea I'm going with on this. Mega Man. I just clicked the wrong button. Mega Man. Something like that. Put you right there. There. And something like that. Okay. He's a fighting robot. Oh, stand by. Please stand by. You know what? I'll leave it as it is for now. My 3D printer just finished printing. But for me to do the next print, I like to eyeball it for the first like 5 minutes. I got so tired of my 3D printer just not sticking to the table. That's been happening a lot lately. This week, no matter what I did, I washed it twice with soap and water. The plate, that is, the 3D printing plate. I freaking realigned it several times, changed the heating process, all of it. None of it was working. And then so I walked away from it. You got to walk away from it sometimes. And I let it sit there for like a week until finally I was like, okay. And finally I went back and I was like, okay, let me now. Do not. Why does it keep resetting? Do not snap to ruler. Thank you. I let it sit for a week. And just be like, you know what? It's gonna drive me crazy. Just step away from it. Step away from the machine, Dante. And essentially, I went back today and I got some rubbing alcohol. Yeah, I got some rubbing alcohol, and today I wiped it down with the rubbing alcohol, and finally the prints are sticking to it. It's not perfect; they still lift a little bit, like partway to the print, like the corner of it lifts a little bit, but it's a process that I'm okay with. Like the part that lifts doesn't drive me crazy. You know, it can still print just fine. But yeah, for a while I was just like, losing my goddamn mind. Yeah, I was losing it, man. I was like, I need this to print. I need this project to work. And after a while, I was like, if I keep screaming at it, nothing's going to happen anyway. So, you walk away from it. And now it's printing. I am printing more of my dice books, my Tower Tomes. And that was what was causing it. That was one of the issues I was having. It just didn't want to adhere to the board. So I couldn't get anything to print flat. Everything kept curling and failing. If it even started printing. Because, like, if it doesn't begin adhered to the metal plate, it won't print anyway. And that's what it was. I just couldn't get any of it to, like, stick to the plate. The first layer wouldn't stick, but now it is. It's sticking enough, and I'm happy with it. So huzzah. These aren't perfect. These are just sketch ideas for, you know, for future reference. Just sketch ideas right now. Right beneath that one. So right here. One, two, three, four, roughly five. So these are little vents. That's the wrong. I filled in the wrong spot. Boom. So these are the little vents that kind of stick out the side of the head. Kind of where the ears are. And it's also good because that'll allow the actor to hear better, because it'll just be like mesh on the side. And then we just do like little, just random little computer chip patterns. Sorry, why is that an advertisement? Skip. Oh, my wiggly hands. Whoa! Now, should it go all the way around? Ideally, we put a little box in the back, and that's where he holds that's the battery pack for it. Ideally, put a little box in the back for now. There you go, just for now. Probably readjust the vent to be closer to. I mean, having it away from the ear, not just at the ear, also like kind of hides what you're doing, which is good. Like, I don't want them to know that we're doing it for that reason. Let me do that. Let me get rid of this one. Just gonna go ahead and just draw the vents. No box. No capes. just kind of fill the little edge right here to make it look like it's in a box. There we go. That looks better. That looks a lot better. Once again, little patterns of like circle, computer chip stuff. Rando stuff, right? I had to go up, didn't I? Blip. Squeak. Squeak. And that's a general idea. I actually have I do have a template for a large helmet. Don't know how large it is until I cut it out. I've had it for years. Oh god, I forgot the, excuse me by the way. I forgot the name of the actual person who gave it to me. I'll read it right now to you guys. So it was a convention. It was Big Apple Comic Con a number of years ago, and an individual had a panel where they were showcasing how they do large costumes, like platform shoes made out of foam, just how to do big costumes. And I think it was them who handed out just a printed out piece of paper, and Evil Ted, it was called the Evil Ted channel. Go to evilted.com, and they have for free. I believe it's still free. Man, that was 2017. Large helmet pattern. I don't know if you can read that. Evil Ted looks the pattern looks kind of like that. So it's a semi-magneto pattern pretty much. So I'm just adjusting that pattern here and see what we could do with that. The actual pattern has a bit of a widow's peak. Definitely more Mega Man-esque, if you would. Evil Ted, theevilted.com. Or maybe it's just evilted.com, but that's what it is. Okay. Let's grab this again. Okay, deselect. Merge this one. Bring that opacity even down a bit more. There we go. So you see more of that way. You see more of the actual drawing, not so much just. Yeah, guys, I've been having this nagging. So I've been having this nagging pain here, which I guess you could say is the very top of the tricep. No, the tricep's more on the back. This is like in the center. So it's like the base of the shoulder. That's from work. And then all of a sudden this week, I've had this grow all the way up to here. So the shoulder's okay, but like the freaking, what's it called, trapezius? I don't know what it's called. The freaking neck muscle right here. The Vulcan neck pinch muscle. That is freaking killing me. Anyway. I'm reaching the text out to a buddy of mine. There we go. My buddy actually just sent me Joe of Kotorius Rex just sent me just some random character designs, which is what he always does. And we're going to see if we can utilize as many of his designs as possible. The issue is making them. They're kind of, his designs are awesome, but they're a little bit complicated. I don't want to. I love taking his designs and like turning it towards my style and like my sensibility, but I don't want to take away from his design. So we're gonna try and utilize a lot of his alien sci-fi stuff for this project. So let's go minimalistic for a minute. Let's go minimalistic, right? You guys remember those goggles that were like freaking... that were like... They would go over the head like this. I think Riddick wore one of those for a while. But let's go where maybe it's something like this. So you have a center forehead one. Right? Okay, I'm sure I've seen things like this before. I just don't know. But let's do something like this, I guess. So it has goes around the temples. Right, it goes around the temples and the back of the head. Right? Kind of just clamps on him in a way. This is definitely like much more minimalistic. Push them out more, like over here. Don't know if I want it to be sunken in or have like an actual little bump on it. I'm not sure. The little centerpiece that is. It's just a simple clamp that goes around his head. Yeah. Now this definitely has like remnants of the Cerebral helmet because of the little ball in the front of it. Goes, the ears behind it, so yeah, it seems about right. But it comes down. So this would be definitely a bit more form-fitted, I would say. So it's minimal, but it's form-fitted. So bring that up. And bring that up. Yeah, okay. Oh, someone is cooking bad stuff in my hallway. I could smell it wafting all the way into my room. This is kind of driving me nuts. I'm gonna move all these up because there's no reason for me to have these freaking heads so far apart. There we go. Stop sticking to the ruler. It always resets itself to do that. Let me zoom in. There we go. Deselect. Okay, that I'm happy with. Everything was just all spread apart in different areas. Yeah, I want to center it, that way you guys can see it all. So we have a heavy helmet with lots of like tech on the side of it, lights going down the top, probably some computer chip patterns, a vent on the side, more for the actor, Then we have just this cloth one that you pull over with all the nodes sticking out and this big silver earpieces. Then you have a basic like one that just clamps around, which I'm pretty sure is like that's more or less like the prototype for freaking first class. Let me check something. Yeah, so that's why it's making me go crazy. Cause in the movie, in the first original X-Men movie, Cerebro is a helmet, but they also narrowed it so it has that center ball. So that's what it is. I'm subconsciously doing the center ball, because then it has like the piece that goes back. Yeah, I'm just freaking drawing freaking Cerebro. So we're gonna. Yeah, I'm definitely just drawing freaking Cerebro, but without the dome attached. That's the issue with this one. So we're gonna work on that one for sure. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. I'm not too happy with that one. Its simplicity gives way to like, oh, that looks like that. Hey man, I was just saying I don't like this bottom one, because it's pretty much just Cerebro without the helmet part. It's like it's the nodes, the anchor points. I don't like it that much. Let me zoom in. Now that you're in the chat, let me zoom in. What feature? It's so weird. Like I'm trying to look at the chat on my secondary device, and it cuts off like the newest chat. So I have to actually look at the stream for that, which is annoying. What's the point of having the chat box? It doesn't show me the chat. Yeah. If you're referring to clip art, no, this is this guy I'm using is just something I got off the internet. Just some image I got off the internet. So now that you're here, I'm gonna run through it real quick. This is kind of like the cosmonaut thing, where it's like just a leather cap, like a prototype leather cap, old school cosmonaut. It just has all these old-fashioned sci-fi nodes sticking out of it, with some piping going down the side, which attaches to a box in the back. This one, I guess you call it more like the Tron Mega Man look. More of a heavier helmet, but this has like the Mega Man kind of beam, except we could probably put some lights in that and have it like light up. Some like mechanical vent on the side, that way the actor can hear a little bit better, and then we just pattern it with maybe some like gold, some gold-ish coins, so it looks like computer chips. So this one has like a more of a Tron, I guess, feel, if that makes sense. With the lights and patterns, but the Roman helmet, that's kind of like what I have on that. Give me a second. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. For whatever reason, chat is being cut off. There we go. Now I can actually see it. That is so weird. Such a weird thing. Stand by. Sorry, trying to get this to stand up on me. There we go. Yeah, yeah, for whatever reason, The newest chat is like visually cut off, and I couldn't see what people were saying. Yeah, so I'm just drawing like random ideas right now for the helmets. Oh, so while I have you, while you're here, let's talk about the set. So we're going to talk about the set right now, guys. This is a pilot. It's going to be in a single room set. That's the idea. I can't think of design too much right now, but the idea I had, Rex, if you're still with us. So we have. Gotta zoom in on this. Okay. So. We have the wall that our actor sits in front of, right? And either we put hinges on it, or we just make it 3 separate walls. But we do have 2 other walls. So we have the basic stage setup, you know? Your standard, like, 3-wall kind of looking prop. And of course, the 2 side walls, I say of course, but the 2 side walls, I'm thinking, will always be shot at an angle, not a perfect straightaway. And we can either put hinges on it or not. And then, but let's say we don't put hinges, right? So let's say we just have it like this. So, this is also good practice for anyone who wants to do like really close up set areas. I was thinking one thing we could do also. So we hang tubing here. So you've all seen it, everyone. Those tubes that people use for like vents for wash machine, dryers, or whatever. More for dryers, actually. More for dryers. So we have a set we could disassemble, and we hang tubing just here and here. So we have like these tubings in the corner of the set. They're silver. They also hide the seam of the 2 walls meeting each other. And that's that right there. That's how we're going to do like a small set, right? Then the real question is direct background. So I have an idea. We could just straight up put a fake door here, right? We just make a door. We can make it out of EVA foam, just a big cut door. Just like that. It'll have maybe some bulkhead kind of bolts on it. And the thing is that the door to exit or not? That's the real question. So I was thinking we could put, you know, we could design now he might be sitting in such an angle where you can't see this anyway. So we could put one of those like old submarine kind of handles on it. But since the actor might be sitting right in front of it, we could instead higher up put a sign that is like he's basically sitting in front of the reactor. Like we could make like he like the actual engine is like right behind him. So we just put one of these like warning signs right behind him about the reactor. And we can still do the bulkhead and everything just in case it's kind of in shot. And we have that so like he's just like sitting right there. Like right in front of it. I was thinking we could do something like that. Right? Which kind of helps also add to the fact that he has a freaking like tubes coming down the side. These tubes are way too big for the drawing. We'll probably have a lot more space to work with on that door. And we could put a whole bunch of stuff. We could put like we could put like a security camera that's kind of always watching him. once again, I'm not too sure the aesthetic I'm going for. Right now. This is like the scrappy made of parts kind of aesthetic. Not too sure yet. Or we could actually put like a bunch of panels. Let's choose purple. Purple. That's not purple. Purple. We can also put a bunch of just various panels and whatnot. So we could do it a bunch of different things. I want the doors at an angle. I want the walls at an angle, so it gives us a chance to actually like have access to them from the sides. Because if the chair is like, theoretically, the chair is like something like this, you know, just sitting right here in front of the area, we need room to slide objects in and out. And all of this around him can, we just put a whole bunch of junk in it. We put whatever we want. Just mechanical bits. Just really make it cluttered. Really cluttered. Think of like the hallways from Alien. Just panels sticking out for no reason. With a bunch of just like random like doodads attached to them. Pipes that also jut out in weird angles. Just tons of stuff that make it cluttered. And then on some freestanding foreground, like literally just maybe some tripods, right? We got some tripods here. On those tripods, we will have things like a viewing screen, or the back of one at least. One that looks like he could look at it and talk to people. So we have like a viewing screen that he has. Which is right now being matched by the fact that there's like fake NASA? Fake NASA dialogue happening in the music right now. Just all these mechanical doodads he has to deal with. Sorry, these are horrible drawings. To kind of, so this could be like, so he has like, it looks like a freaking like, it looks like an old school like small typewriter just on the side that he's pressing, a screen that's right here. Just things in front of him, and also things that are mobile. We can move things in and out. So the viewing screen, can you just call upon the viewing screen and we can slide it into frame. And this is all just on tripods, just on flat wooden bases, PVC pipes, and then stuff right on top of it. This is set building, of just like modular set building. So like the idea is clutter and claustrophobia, just once again objects just sticking out the wall for no reason. Just like things that look like lights just on the wall. Maybe they're flickering on and off. We could just buy a bunch of cheap lights that are AAA battery powered, you know, the little LED lights on strings, have those like blink around them and stuff. Yeah, so this is the kind of set idea we have. This is what we're going with, guys. So we have helmets and we got a set idea. But let's talk about the chair. The chair he's in. So, Chaw. Let's go. So, we can take any kind of office chair and just add stuff to it. But theoretically, because everyone loves these, copy image, paste. Where are you? You're way up here. Hey, tiny chair. Why are you up here, tiny chair? Tiny chair, oh tiny chair, why are you so stinky? Okay. So here is our base chair idea, right? Merge layer. Add some good old opacity on that. Lock it up. Nope, that's the wrong button. Lock it down. Alright. We do a quick file save, little cheeky save. Save as Dante's art. Film art. Okay. Helmet and set 1. Call that number 1 for now. Stand by. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right here for now. That's the one I gotta call back in just a bit. You know what? Stand by, guys. I'm getting like emergency calls here.
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Sell it online, take it in person, and go big, like a million orders big. Whatever your stage, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up today at shopify.com/YouTube audio.
There we go. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. There was no emergency. It was just a matter of getting a few personal things settled. Things come up. Things come up during the stream. It happens. once again, like I for some reason I'm looking at the stream, right? And you guys could probably look at the stream as well in the chat. In the chat beneath me, everything's up, everything's fine. But if I'm viewing the chat, like on a website, it just cuts off the last thing. Everything is fine. There was just a few phone calls, a phone call I had to handle. So, I grabbed one of these chairs because they're streamer chairs, which they're not. Every streamer buys one of these, but to be honest, these chairs are designed off of race car chairs, and they're not really good for posture. They're good if you're being pushed into it. But this is kind of just, we could take any chair we want. You could take any chair you want. You could build something like this, something that looks like a streaming chair, right? But let's make it interesting. Let's pretend we give it like more sleek sci-fi edges, right? Something like that. All right, let's go with something like that. We can literally attach it to like any kind of chair we want. You know, we overlap it with something like these. Maybe even use this as an excuse to attach other devices of some type. Maybe he has grip bars, even though he controls the ship with his mind. Maybe he has like grip bars to hold on, or maybe it's like a crank, like a fake crank to activate stuff. Put it on a hinge, right? Given the fact that he has this big old helmet, I'm debating not doing the headrest, like have it come down like this. That way, we can have access to stuff for props to come up. But, okay, so here is our chair. The bottom of the chair will most likely never be in shot, right? We can even probably make a dashboard that slides up to him as well. Like just roll a dashboard in when he has to like do stuff. So we have lots of just room to do whatever we want. And I say, why don't we make big ol' like he's in a roller coaster. Big old cross clamps, right? Something like that. Let me go a bit darker. Blue. There we go. So we get the sensation that he's kind of trapped in a chair. Obviously, we still have to make it where the actor can move around. So it might not be too bulky. We might have to make it more form fit. But it has like a lock on it right there. Just kind of comes down on him, so he's like in the chair. Once again, just some random little detail that makes it look like it's made of fabric or whatever. So we have something along these lines. That's the wrong color. Open back. Clamps and stuff on the side. Yeah, we could. Oh, here we go. We could design. And this, you've seen those like 1920s maybe, microphones like that. And it's attached to this side. So he actually grabs that to talk into. He just picks it up and he's like, Mayday, Mayday! So you have like one of those and like a little cup holder right here. I'm thinking, let's redo that real quick. once again, the actor has to be able to move. So it's more curved in like this. Because on a roller coaster you can't move, but this actor needs to be able to move his arms. So that's essentially the whole thing. We could get like a cheap office chair. And then we can slide that chair back and forth into the scene. And we can make tons of props that just like roll in and roll out. Roll out! But the main set, so the whole set's modular. The whole set. The walls are just cluttered. We can just put a bunch of mechanical stuff that kind of go in there. The main thing will be like what's behind them. I think a radiation like reactor with a door behind him is really good. Once again, the tubes just hanging on the side. That's these big old like. They'll probably be much smaller because those tubes are like that big usually. Those silver tubes, drape them down. Because Katorius Rex sent me a few sketches, not sketches. He sent me some reference drawings from like Marvel Comics. Like Doctor Doom's just in this massive kind of egg dome chair with like this ring around him with all his controls. Like the chair literally has to lower down. He gets into it and then it rises into like it's just this massive thing. But that's good for like a general set where he can move around and do all the stuff. But we also want to have room with we also want to kind of give the actor room to move around. So how enclosed we want it is kind of the big question. Because you could do this kind of dome on top. Right? That the actor kind of sits in. But then that might restrict effects we want to do later on, involving his head. You know? If he's kind of like inside this. It might be a bit of a problem. Exactly. So in this, yeah, exactly. Kind of like the Batman Beyond ship, where he's like, he's a bit tight, close. So I kind of want to get that claustrophobic feel, which is why I want to have a bunch of like machinery kind of coming out the sides, and then we could always just film it closer. Like I guess it comes down to we design the chair first, and then design a set that kind of matches that those proportions. Cause if we do the set too big, then we miss out on all that stuff. When I get the chair, figure out how we do the chair to give the actor room to move. I think something simple like this, or maybe just a little fins on the side for like sci-fi stuff and stuff on the edges. Like I said, because I'm in a chair right now, so if you have like an object sticking out right here and an object sticking out right here, you're already closed off, which is really good. Then you have to like reach over to grab the microphone, and then you'll have like right here up on the actor all these objects you could roll into the scene. Because you could go. Let me use green for this. You could design. That's not green. You could design something built into the chair as well that kind of like flops in front of him. Something that has like what's the from the movie Inside Out, just this big curving table. But I'd rather have this with all its doodads and like freaking knobs sticking out of it, and like what's it called, like what's that a little Angels, a little voice box, a little speaker box, but I'd rather have this also just be a lightweight rolling prop. If you put this on wheels, he could be like, activate hyperdrive controls, and you pull away all the other props, and then this just reels in. He said, oh, and like, and then he's just kind of like controlling it from there. Just once again, modular pieces, modular sets that move around. I think so far my favorite is the kind of Mega Man helmet with the computer chips on it. We can even add some lights. Like that looks like that would be fun. Or we could just go with the cap, the kind of bald cap with all the antennas on it, for more like makeshift, like this thing's reading my mind. The Doc Brown helmet with all the wires coming out, but not as aggressively large. I'm right now starting on my computer. I am starting another print, another 3D print. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. You might even hear it going in the background. Just gonna trust it to come out okay. The first one just came out okay. It printed, it adhered to the table and it printed fine, but as it was going, one of the corners did lift a little bit. It is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So these are all the concepts so far. Save. But yeah, we could just... I got so much junk plastic in this house from stuff I collect. Broken water bottle. I haven't broken. I break them myself. Water gun, cheap water gun toys and tubes and everything like if I could just get rid of all of it by gluing it to the walls or something and you spray it. I mean, that's what they did with Aliens. The movie Aliens, when she's running through the hallway, those are the backs of CRT TVs, like the old TVs. The is it called CRT or CRTVs? CRTVs. Those are the back of freaking TVs. They just glued to the wall, and like it's kibble. It's so much kibble, as they call it. Or greeblies. When it's a model and you're adding little things to it, they're called greeblies. There's tons of greeblies. The real issue is trying to figure out what's the aesthetic of this skit. I'm leaning towards just messy stuff, made from junk with a little bit of aesthetic, versus sleek Star Trek. Like, I'm just kind of going wild with it, but a lot of it's gonna land on our friend Katorius Rex in the chat right now. Well, not right now. He's in the chat. But a lot of the design is actually gonna land in his park. Like, he's gonna be like thinking of a lot of the stuff.
Meet Asana, a work management platform.
I don't want to meet Asana.
Get more done and save
Asana,
time.
don't meet Asana.
Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize timelines.
Can't even skip it.
Asana
I can't even skip the ad.
Try it for free today at asana.com.
There we go. So annoying. Okay. So we have some helmet concepts. We have some vague, basic cockpit concepts. I think I should maybe look up like... I really should. Look into like how their chairs look. I type in cockpit chairs and it gives me like the chairs people buy as, you know, to simulate being in a plane. They have the they have the stupid little overhang. That way you can watch TV from the overhang. Yeah, a lot of them are just like regular, like they look like regular chairs. That's really it. But what we could do also to make it look nicer. Technically, these should be kind of, not technically, they can. Why is that happening? I'm on the wrong layer. You're on the wrong layer. Sleek them out like that. Which also helps because if you do a raised edge, if you do something raised, that also kind of like shoulders him into it. Which would make sense for an actual cockpit where you're going fast. You need to be in, like, compressed into it. So like you would have slightly like the edges of a sofa. Sofa cushions like that. That would make more sense. Another option, I'll just draw it on this one. Another option is just straight up like seat belts that crisscross around him. So it goes across the chest and then down the chest. Then we can have, once again, just this big old plate in the center. So that would be a lot sleeker, just having belt buckles. More X-Men! Yeah. I believe my phone's about to ring. Yeah, belt buckle. Just kind of locks him in there. And then we just make some kind of fake sci-fi belt buckle. Maybe some lights, some blinking lights on it. Good old Darth Vader-esque blinking lights of all type. Even if they don't blink, it'll make for a good visual of just having like little control knobs and whatnot. We could go to a thrift store, see if they have any old old keyboards from like the freaking 90s or whatever. 90s, early 2000s, really give it that like chunkiness. These are all, I'm just drawing really bad sketch ideas. Just drawing everything I can at the wall at the moment. Yeah, there's the basic like down, and we could keep it away from the shoulders, but have it bulky, or we can just do belts and have him just strapped in there. Part of it also comes down to what the actor's going to be wearing. Like, is he just wearing like an army fatigue kind of not army fatigue, how do I put this? Like camo armor, but then again, camo clothes, but then again, he's in space. Why would he wear that, you know? Joe suggests like a trench coat. No matter what he's wearing beneath, it doesn't matter. Which is what's gonna be great. We can have the actor wear whatever he wants, but we get like a nice trench coat, and then have him strapped in there. So the trench coat, which would be a weird contrast given like the different helmets. He has a trench coat, but he has one of these helmets on. But it works because we give him the trench coat, and because he's that kind of guy. He's trying to be a cool, like, detective kind of dude. His freaking fedora is just hanging off the side of the chair or in the background. Like, we put that fedora on the background, so he's like trying to be this cool, like, space cop with his freaking trench coat and fedora. So I think something. I don't know. There's so many ways to approach this. Let me see. We got in the chat. What? What are you saying? The original rifles from Alien. Oh, the rifles, the guns. I completely like blanked out for a minute. The original rifles from Aliens were fashioned from Hilti drills. Oh, the brand is called Hilti? They were just drills? Yeah, that movie is a perfect example of like a high-end movie. Or Alien, plural or Alien? Alien. Oh, that's right, Alien. Aliens was different. Aliens, they did a whole different type of drill. A whole different type of gun, I mean. But yeah, like, dude, like, I got so much junk in my house. Because when Dante was young, and Rex completely understands this. Before we could afford art supplies, before we knew what art supplies we could use, I was a pack rat. I'm still a pack rat. I still got a bunch of stuff. So I have like all these bags right now of like broken plastic and toys. I bought a bunch of cheap. Like I said, I bought a bunch of cheap, cheap water guns a while back. Cause I was trying to use them for a project. So now I have all these like random bits and bobs I could add to anything. Yeah, we're kind of entering from drawing to just chatting at the moment. I have no idea. Excuse me. I have no idea what else to do. Like, these are just general ideas I'm throwing out there. The main thing that needs designing is the helmet for sure. The cockpit. I don't know how much you want to wing it. Unless you, Rex, have an exact idea of like what aesthetic you want for the cockpit, I'm just throwing out random ideas regarding like the chair, just basic design where the chair needs to be big but kind of cumbersome, but visually cumbersome, but the actor needs to move. And the background, I still think of having just a big door frame with the nuclear like warning in the back, like radioactive warning, and just having greebly and junk coming out the walls, like from every angle. Just enough where he feels claustrophobic. Unless a certain stylized you want. A certain kind of plating, certain kind of design. Because, let me see. Okay, Millennium Falcon, right? So I just typed Millennium Falcon cockpit, right? And, I'm looking for a shot. Here we go. Here's a good example. So I'm not talking about behind the scenes. I'm not talking about 360 degrees. I'm talking about when they're sitting in the movie. When you look at the movie and you're looking at the Millennium Falcon cockpit, it is domed, wall, has a door. The door has some panels that indicate the door. And the rest of it is just button. Like how's he reaching all that stuff? It is like, it's kind of like a really, really busy version of like an airplane. Just buttons. Like this button is behind them that like, how would they ever even touch that? Like you have to get out their chair to get to it. And then they just have like a panel in the front. So like this, but condensed. That's kind of the idea I'm seeing. And then even better, we could slide objects in and out. Just robotic hands and claws and things that just slide in and out. But I'm thinking the main thing is we need to like get a cheap chair and just make stuff that could be put onto the chair. Just slide right onto the back of the chair. And the actor sits in there. And then from there, we measure out the actual set. And once we have those two, I think we're good. Punch it, Chewie! Woo! Hold on. Gotta move the screen over a little bit. I'm trying to move the screen, but it's like bouncing around too much. Look at that. Look at that handsome man. Look at that handsome man. Alright. Let's get rid of that. Alright, you know what? Let's call it. I'm gonna call it. Because I just want to get some of these ideas out of my head. We got some nice sketches done. We got some rambling done, and we got some basic concepts of how we're gonna go forward with this project. And I think I want to leave it at that. This was just an impromptu stream. Wasn't meant to go that long anyway. And that's it. I'm gonna try and get back on the streaming. In the meantime, right there, guys. Long Island Tabletop Gaming, April 6th through the 7th at the Cradle of Aviation in Long Island. I will be there. It is a pretty damn good location in terms of just room to move around. They usually stock it full of lots of people. There's also Long Island Retro Gaming that's happening later on. That's in August. And I'm also once again doing Brooklyn Comic Con. Check them all out. We'll hopefully fit another stream. I will hopefully fit another stream later on. And I am looking for more conventions. If anyone is aware of more conventions coming up in the New York area, or even ones that just passed, I didn't have time to like even look into. If you have New York area conventions, New Jersey as well, the edge of New Jersey, let me know. I'm trying to add it to my list, and I hope to do more conventions, both having tables and just going to them for fun. And I'll leave it at that. Let me turn off this background music. There we go, much better. And yeah, that's it. Once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.